Please direct your attention to the visitors bench area as we now announce the starting lineup for the Norwell Clippers. Tonight, starting at guard, number 20, sophomore Connor O'Hare. Starting at forward, number 22, sophomore Ethan Downey Landry. Starting at guard, number 13, junior John Mullen. And guard number 3, sophomore captain Ryan Lucarelli. And forward number 24, junior captain Matt Deaver. With the left and their assistant coaches Ray Harvey and Jack Meyer, and their head coaches John Willis. And now, please join me in welcoming your Abington Green Wave Varsity basketball team. Starting tonight for the Green Wave. At forward number 4, senior Mike Van Luley. Starting at forward number 10, senior Jeremiah Espion. Starting at guard number 2, senior Drew Devin. Starting at guard number 14, senior Antoine Graham Jr. And starting at guard number 3, senior captain Tommy Manara. Green Wave led by their assistant coaches Dave Brown, Chris Marquardt, Lundman, Al Garrett, and Chris Dye. And their head coach is Peter Serino. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you now all please rise and remove your hats as we pay tribute to our country and to those who defend our freedom by playing our national anthem.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, basketball fans of all ages, hello, and welcome into the gymnasium here on the campus of Abington High School for a South Shore League basketball battle. It is the Clippers of Norwell High School, the Green Wave of Abington going at it. As always, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson, joined alongside tonight by Dr. James Madden. James, it does not get bigger than the Clippers and the Green Wave. The Clippers are 4-4. The Green Wave are 5-3. This should be one heck of a battle.
It should be. The Green Wave have played the Clippers last season. They won by a significant margin, I believe by 15 points. Hopefully the Green Wave tonight can feed off of that from last season, do what they've done all season. That's take care of the ball, push the tempo, force turnovers, and win by big margins.
Well, you can tell it's a big game because in the house tonight are ESPN, the Ocho. We have a fellow commentating crew in the Abington student section. Ryan Tobin and Eddie Riley are the commentators for that, leading the charge. You may see them in the background of the basket on the right. Meanwhile, we are underway. Jeremiah Ismius winning the tip back to Tommy Fanara, Antoine Graham Jr., Drew Donovan, and Mike Van Luling, the other Green Wave starters. For the Clippers, it is number 22, Ethan Downey Lamprey. Number 13, John Mullen. Number 20, Connor O'Hare. Number 24, Matt Lever. And I believe the lone senior on the roster is out there as well, Owen Lever. Downey Lamprey down low gives to number 13, John Mullen. Mullen backtracks to just about half court and gives to O'Hare. O'Hare back to Lamprey. On the rotation, O'Hare takes the three and hits it. Antoine Graham with it. Sidesteps his defender, works down low, kicks back out to Van Luling. Now Fanara down low for Donovan, corner three. Off the front of the rim, the Clippers with the rebound. It goes to Mullen. Man defense for the Green Wave to start. Donovan guarding Mullen. Gets in his face, and the turnover is collected by Van Luling. Fanara gives to Van Luling now. Donovan starts driving baseline, turns back. Fanara at the top of the key. Van Luling takes the three. Back rims. Ismius can't get it over Downey Lamprey. And the Clippers take over. 3-0 Norwell leading. 6:14 to go in the first quarter. This is Downey Lamprey. Hard to the bucket. It doesn't go. The rebound gets tipped back to Downey Lamprey, who gets a couple of offensive boards. Doing the work down there was Matt Lever, the junior captain. As you were pointing out, James, there's also a sophomore captain on this team, the sophomore Ryan Lucarelli.
The Norwell Clippers are definitely one of the younger teams I've seen. Only one senior on the roster, that's forward Owen Lever. And they also got they have what I like to call the Twin Towers, number 22, Ethan Downey Lamprey, and 24, Matt Lever. So the Green Wave are going to need to keep them off the glass tonight if they want to have any success.
Talking to Coach Serino earlier today, he said it's going to come down to the paint. Those trees for the Clippers definitely have the size advantage. Jeremiah Ismius is going to have to counter them pretty much by himself, as the rest of the Abington starters are smaller, but definitely have a shooting advantage. A lot of contact. Graham went down to the floor. The bucket is good, no call. Graham gets it back from Donovan, bounces into Van Luling, kicks back out to Graham. Now no look over to Donovan, back to Graham. Graham finds a lane and runs into one of those towers, Matt Lever, and the Clippers take it back over. Just about 3 minutes in to the first quarter. Lever down low, and he tosses it out of bounds, intended for the sophomore captain, Ryan Lucarelli. Green Wave take over. James, they're looking to get their first bucket. We're 3 minutes in.
This has been a tough dry spell for them so far. Three-point shooting for them hasn't been their strong suit. This season, going to the basket has been more of their strong suit, and with those two big bodies down low, they've been forced to shoot more outside shots than they'd like to, and that hasn't really paid off so far.
A push called away from the ball on Mike Van Luling, and that is another turnover. Deshaun Leggett's going to come in for Van Luling. Well, as we were mentioning in a previous game, the Green Wave tend to get hotter as the game goes on. They usually start the first quarter slow and progressively average more points per quarter as the game goes on. They're averaging 12.6 points in the first quarter so far this season. Corner three doesn't go. Donovan with the massive vertical leap tries to get to the rebound, and Leggett called for the foul. Lucarelli to inbound. He finds Lever, who floats it back out to John Mullen. Lucarelli far side. Bounces to Lever, who hands back to Mullen. Mullen works his way in, gets blocked by Ismius. Out of play, the Clippers will have 16 to shoot. Shot off of the inbound pass by Ethan Downey Lamprey off the glass, and an 8-0. We are halfway through the first, and the Green Wave committing another turnover. This one taken by Connor O'Hare. Mullen, Downey Lamprey takes the jumper and hits it from beyond the arc. 11-0, the Norwell Clippers currently shutting out the Abington Green Wave. James, not the start the Green Wave we're looking for on this big Friday night South Shore League matchup.
Definitely not. It's interesting. Coach Serino hasn't used his first time out yet. Just stop the tempo, stop the momentum that the Clippers have gained so far. But it looks like he trusts his guys to figure it out there and keep letting them play.
Donovan bounces it into Leggett. Corner for Fanara, who is driving baseline. Reverse floater doesn't go. Scrap for the rebound. Leggett eventually comes away with it, and he is pickpocketed by John Mullen. Downey Lamprey, top of the key three, doesn't go. Offensive board, now Lucarelli with a second offensive board taken by Lever. He kicks out to Mullen with a fresh shot clock. Leggett now with the defensive rebound on Lever's shot. Fanara drives in, kicks out to Graham Jr., who has yet to attempt a shot. Fanara will take the corner three. It back rims out. Contact on the rebound, sliding down and pushing it out of play was Connor O'Hare. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, James. The Green Wave yet to get on the board.
The Green Wave have gotten some open looks so far, but so far none of them have fallen. They just need to continue to pass, cut, screen away, get some open looks, and they'll eventually start to fall for them.
Donovan gives to Graham Jr. far side. He tried to float it into Ismius. Dangerous pass. Ismius able to bring it down. Graham Jr. takes the three, and just like that, the Green Wave are on the board.
Norwell was doing a good job containing Antoine Graham so far at the first half. That was his first shot attempt, first make, and it will be interesting to see how they try and contain him throughout this game, and hopefully for the Green Wave he can get hot.
They are resetting the shot clock to 22 seconds. Connor Pease comes in the game as the Green Wave try to match some of the size in the paint. Mullen at the top of the key working against Donovan. Gives far side to Lever. Now it's Downey Lamprey on the rotation. He gives over to Connor O'Hare. O'Hare floats it into Lever, and the size came into play with the big reach. 2 on the shot clock. O'Hare takes the three, doesn't go. And Drew Donovan comes away with the rebound. Fanara in for Pease. One touch to Donovan. Graham Jr. now to Leggett down low. Out to Fanara, who was hoping for a little more heat on the pass to fire up the quick three. 12 seconds on the shot clock. And now 8. Pease works his way in. Gets blocked by Lever. The Green Wave will have 4 to shoot off the inbounds pass. Leggett hits the 2. And now Ryan Lucarelli bringing it up for the Clippers. 1:05 to go, 11-5. It is a 6-point lead, 2-possession game for the Clippers. O'Hare gives to Lever, who has shown some range, the big man. Jackson Adams, the sophomore guard, gives to Lucarelli, and with 1 on the shot clock, he lays it up and in. Graham Jr. takes a 3. That takes 2 bounces off the rim. Pease tips the rebound that is eventually gathered by Lucarelli. 30 seconds to go. A 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Donovan tipping it to Deshaun Leggett. Now gets the pass, drives inside, and gets fouled on his way up. And Donovan will be at the line for 2 with 17.8 to go. Well, here's first foul. The first foul committed by the Norwell Clippers in this first quarter. Curtis Lucas Summers is getting ready to come in for the Green Wave. He will give Tommy Fanara the breather.
Checking in for the Green Wave with 0-0, Curtis Lucas Summers.
Donovan good on his first attempt at the charity stripe. And he goes 2 for 2. Back to a 6-point ball game, 13-7. Shot clock off, 15 seconds to go in the first frame. Lucarelli bringing it up, gives to Lever, who finds Downey Lamprey. Now back to Lucarelli. O'Hare takes the 3. Off the front of the rim, offensive board by the size. Downey Lamprey, but he can't convert. The buzzer sounds as Donovan was breaking up the far side wing. The first quarter has come to an end, 13-7. The Green Wave trail by 6, James.
I thought defensively the Green Wave played just fine. They forced some tough looks for Norwell. Norwell was not getting anything easy near the basket, even with their 2 big men. And defensively, that's pretty much what the coaches and Coach Serino could have asked for the Green Wave. Offensively, it was a slow start. The first 6 minutes or so, they were held scoreless. But as soon as Antoine Graham found one shot to fall, they started to rally together some points. And offensively, they started to figure it out. Hopefully, in the second quarter, we can see a lot much better offense for the Green Wave.
Well, to say that it's probably a good thing that it's only a 6-point lead is good. The Green Wave did not score until there was about 3 minutes left, 2.5 to be exact, in the first quarter. But as we mentioned, they tend to heat up, catch a little bit of fire as the game goes on. The second quarter, they are averaging 15 points. That is about 2.5 more than the first period, the first quarter. Meanwhile, the Green Wave opponents are averaging 13 points in the first quarter. That rings true tonight, James. They are averaging 14.3 in the second frame. Donovan trying to come up with the steal. We'll see if the Green Wave rotate to the full court press that looked so effective against Mashpee when employed.
That full court press pretty much put the dagger in the game. It was close. It was a 10-point game at half, but it was a lot closer than that 10-point game. And once they imposed the full court press on Mashpee, they just started to throw the ball away, and the Green Wave could pull away.
24 points, the final margin of victory in the Green Wave's last matchup. Pease might have gotten a tip, as well as Curtis Lucas Summers. They were both in there. Lucas Summers, no look from Graham to Donovan. Now Pease catches the fireball at the charity stripe, has it tipped away. Donovan again, no look to Antoine Graham. A lot of chemistry between those two. Graham finds a lane, lays it up and in.
That's something we've seen from him throughout the entire season, how strong he is to get to the basket. He uses his ability to knock down the three-point shot to get the defender to overcommit and then just get to the basket with ease.
The 2 doesn't go. Leggett tapping the rebound. Out of play off of Norwell. Hunter Maxwell is going to come in along with Tommy Fanara. James, big game for Maxwell on Tuesday night against Mashpee.
He was pretty much Mr. Do-It-All for the Green Wave. He played great defense. He rebounded. He found open shooters, got some assists, and was just an all-around positive impact for the Green Wave on the floor whenever he was on the floor.
Fanara with it. Finds Maxwell. Back to Fanara, who thought about the Steph Curry range 3. Now Pease loses it on the baseline. And he gives Connor Jennings a bear hug on the ground and is called for the foul. Lucas Summers in for Donovan now. Shot good from Lucarelli. A couple bounces off the metal and in. Maxwell finds Fanara in for Leggett. Now Lucas Summers loses it. Pease finds the loose ball. Maxwell back to Fanara, far side. 13 seconds on the shot clock. 6:12 in the second quarter. Leggett works his way towards the rack. Floats it up. No good. Offensive board for Pease. And the putback attempt didn't go. Brought down by Jennings for the Clippers. Now Fanara comes up with a steal, 2-on-1. Lucas Summers lays it up and in. Past the block attempt from Jackson Adams. 4-point game, 15-11 as the Green Wave try to claw back into it. This is Ronan Coffey, the freshman guard. Maxwell comes up with the tip. And a second one, Lucarelli able to get around him. A lot of whistles on the floor and a stoppage, James.
I believe they're arguing the shot clock shouldn't have reset because the Green Wave never had full possession of the ball on the tip by Hunter Maxwell.
Ismius is going to come back in for the Green Wave. Lengthy discussion at the scorer's table, mostly between the coaches. Now the officials having a small word. I think they're going to keep it at 27. They will indeed. 27 on the shot clock, 5:34 to go in the period. Sorry, I keep saying period. I'm in hockey mode from Wednesday night.
It happens.
The second quarter, Lucarelli hard to the bucket. It doesn't go. Leggett with the uncontested rebound. Leggett finds Maxwell. Wide open corner three is good. That makes it a 1-point ball game with 5:12 to go in the second. (15-14), the Clippers holding on to that 1-point lead. And it looks like the Green Wave might have found the combination on the floor that's going to get this game kick-started.
That's huge for the Green Wave that Maxwell can see his first shot go down because he's such a skilled shooter from the outside, and once he sees one go down, he gets all the confidence in the world. And for most shooters, all you need is a little bit of confidence and then shots start falling.
Well, the student section, as you can see, decked out in flannel gear.
Me personally, I thought it was a bit of a strange theme. According to Ryan Tobin, he thought it was a unique theme for everyone to wear flannels. But obviously him and Eddie Riley...
Yeah, what's funny is that Tobin himself is not wearing flannel.
I believe they thought they had to wear a suit and tie for the occasion of their first announcing gig.
Well, listen, Doctor, you've been with us for a couple of games now. It seems as though the student section might be just a little bit jealous of your position behind the microphone.
I think they're starting to miss me, so they're trying to get me back by putting me out of work.
TBD if they're successful in that effort. Would not anticipate. They're pretty good at everything else, especially sports. But I don't think that they're going to be able to pry you away from center court.
I hope not.
Maxwell in the corner gives to Tommy Fanara. 4:43 to go in the second quarter. The Green Wave have clawed their way back. They trail by 3. Ismius gets the offensive board but lost it between the 5-hole. And the Clippers come away with it. Lucarelli getting around Lucas Summers. Graham Jr. is going to come back in. The 3 for Downey Lamprey doesn't go. Ismius with the board for the Green Wave. Fanara bounces into Leggett. Back to Fanara. Quick 3 from deep is good. Tie game, James.
After that dry spell for the first 5.5 minutes of the first quarter, the Green Wave have started to knock down a lot more outside shots, and Lucas Summers gets a steal.
And then fouled from behind by the sophomore captain, Lucarelli. And going back to our friends and colleagues over at ESPN, the Ocho there, it's a pretty legitimate setup. They got the headsets going and everything.
They came prepared. I believe they went out and bought that table like this afternoon after school.
And when push comes to shove, you got to figure out what you need for a broadcast. You got to make it happen by any means necessary. They figured out shortly before tip-off that they needed a table to broadcast the game from, and they made it happen.
I wish them the best of luck. I never wish failure on a colleague.
Now, that being said, one would hope that Abington Cam's ratings would be just a little bit higher than ESPN's tonight. Ismius on the baseline. Maxwell gets it at the charity stripe. Leggett in the corner. He puts it up over a couple of those trees, and dual possession called as Ismius went back for the putback attempt. The Green Wave will retain possession. Graham Jr. to inbounds. Another question over the shot clock. Green Wave get a fresh 30. Floated into Maxwell. He finds Leggett along the far wing. Graham Jr. now near side. Down low to Leggett. The uncontested layup doesn't go. Can't get any closer than that. A couple bounces off the metal, and Norwell tips it out of play.
That pass was very impressive from Graham. Fit that through that tight window to find Leggett on the block and give the Green Wave a good opportunity.
They take exactly 1 second off of the shot clock. That might be a point of contention tonight, James. That shot clock, there's been multiple discussions about that already through the first half. Maxwell, corner 3. Doesn't go. Ismius going up for the rebound, ultimately taken by Lucarelli. Lucarelli one-hands it far side for Mullen. Mullen slows up and now finds Connor O'Hare. Far side back to Mullen. Drew Donovan's going to come back in. Lucarelli sidesteps Curtis Lucas Summers, gets the shot up over Maxwell. Offensive board for Downey Lamprey. And the Green Wave come down with the rebound there. Leggett, Graham. Pump fakes on the pass to Lucas Summers. Ismius gives it back out to Graham. The deep Steph Curry 3 is good!
I'm in shock at how that went in. That was probably
about 30, 35 feet there.
That was probably 10 feet beyond the three-point arc, 10, 12 feet.
It's about a quarter of the way between the three-point arc and half court. And that gives the Green Wave the first lead of the night. Lucas Summers extends that lead on the reverse layup. 22-19, the Green Wave have come storming back in the second quarter to take a three-point lead with 1:40 to go in the second frame. They've caught Norwell on their heels the last couple of minutes. And now a foul committed in the paint as Matt Lever went up to the bucket. Ismius called for the contact. Donovan has been waiting at the scorer's table for more than a few minutes, waiting to get in the game. Fanara is going to join him. Lever good on his first attempt. Donovan and Fanara and Maxwell and Lucas Summers will come out. A couple of big plays for the two of them to help the Green Wave claw their way back in. Taylor good on his free throw attempts. Fanera gets the inbounds pass from Leggett. Graham Jr. No look to Leggett. Now Donovan Fanara. Far side Graham Jr. He's another guy you don't want to catch fire, especially from beyond the arc. Ismius goes spinning towards the bucket and lays it up and in. Very impressive stretch in the last couple of minutes for the Green Wave. Leggett comes up with the steal. He's in alone, lays it up and in. I think he was gauging on his way to the bucket whether he could slam it or not.
I think it's best for the Green Wave that he just takes the easy option and just lays it right in.
Always going to hit the easy meatball. 45 seconds to go. 5-point lead for the Green Wave now. Lucarelli faces the double team in the corner and bounces it into the hands of Drew Donovan, who easily gets around O'Hare. Donovan to the corner for Fanara. His three is good. Timeout on the floor called by Norwell James. They're reeling right now. 8-point lead for the Green Wave with 29 seconds to go in the second quarter. 29-21 Abington.
As you said earlier, the Green Wave start to heat up as the game goes on, and I think it's safe to say now they've heated up.
Yeah, they've scored, 22 here in the second quarter?
They've outscored Norwell 22-8 here in the second quarter, and once shot start falling, it's sky's the limit for the Green Wave, and those shots have been falling, and it's looking good for the Green Wave so far.
They're averaging 15 points to this point in the season in the second quarter. They're well over that so far tonight, beating it currently by 7 with 29 seconds still on the clock. They just wanted to give something for ESPN to talk about over there.
I have noticed one thing with the broadcasting partners over there. Eddie Riley seems
one of them has abandoned ship mid-broadcast.
Eddie Riley still leads the fan section. Ryan Tobin's strictly business over there. I was waiting to get that in. I noticed Ryan Tobin isn't really participating. I'm guessing he's the play-by-play commentator. He has to make sure he knows what's going on at all times.
I think that the headset might be rotating around as Mr. Tobin might be interviewing some guests down there. Leggett tips the shot from Lucarelli, but it goes. Donovan on the fast break layup doesn't go. 10 seconds to go. Full court press on for the Green Wave. Graham Jr. runs into that O'Hare on the far side, and the ball rolls out of play. The Green Wave will have 6.1 to shoot. Leggett will inbound. He's going to try to find Antoine Graham Jr., who has hit a shot from about that spot on the floor. He's got 3, puts it up, and nails it from just inside half court as the buzzer sounds. 32-23 at the half. Antoine Graham Jr. with the Steph Curry range, James.
For me to say I am not surprised would be a lie. I'm in absolute shock at how he's not only hit one of those, but hit 2 of those in a span of 3 minutes. And it shows just how talented of a basketball player Graham is. And without him, I don't know if the Green Wave are in this. I don't think the Green Wave have this 9-point lead that they do. So he's played great up until those moments. So hopefully for him and the Green Wave, they can continue to dominate on both ends of the floor and pull away with this victory in the second half.
Antoine Graham Jr. showing some serious range. The Green Wave lead it 32-23 at the half after being down by 6 at the end of the first quarter. They have scored a heck of a lot of points here. 25 if the math is correct in the second quarter. That is 10 more than their season average. We'll see if the fire remains going through the half. 32-23 at the break. We're going to step aside, take a quick break, and bring you the third quarter of action right after this. Hello and welcome back into the gymnasium on the campus of Abington High School for second half action between the Norwell Clippers and your Abington Green Wave. Once again, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson, joined alongside Dr. James Madden. Doctor, some serious surgery in the second quarter by the Green Wave. They put up 25 points in the second frame.
It seems as if they saved their offensive explosion for the second quarter. The first quarter, they only scored 7 points, all of which coming in the last 2.5 minutes. So luckily for the Green Wave, they were able to find rhythm and consistency on the offensive end of the floor and jump out to a 9-point lead at the half.
Now the catalyst of that tremendous comeback, Antoine Graham Jr. hit a half-court shot just inside of half-court, right at the buzzer of the second quarter. He also hit one from about 35 feet earlier in the second quarter. And the Green Wave are going to get called for the foul here. They lead at 32-25 coming into this third quarter. It is Donovan, Ismius, Van Luling, Fanara, and Graham Jr. on the floor for Abington. Lucarelli, John Mullen, Connor O'Hare, Ethan Downey Lamprey, and Matt Lever on for the Clippers. Lucarelli hits the 2.
Lucarelli so far for the Clippers has done a great job finishing around the rim. He's strong with the ball. He's smart. He knows where the defense is vulnerable and is able to find holes for the Clippers.
Fanara takes the 3. It is no good. Downey Lamprey with the rebound. Very active Green Wave student section here in the gym tonight. Sitting in the front row is the broadcast team, quote unquote, of Ryan Tobin, who has been deserted by the senior starting quarterback of the football team, Eddie Riley. Ismius down low, spins, goes hard to the bucket, off the glass and in. It's a one-man broadcast over there, James.
It seems as if Eddie Riley just gave up, and Ryan Tobin is carrying the load now. So it'll be interesting to see how the relationship is going forward as a broadcasting team.
Well, you got to build as much chemistry as you possibly can in the limited amount of time during the game. So it does not bode well for, I'm assuming that Tobin is doing play-by-play down there, and Eddie Riley is the color commentator.
It looks like he's keeping notes as well. It's interesting to wonder what he's keeping notes about. I'll have to ask him after the game.
Graham finds Fanara, who one-hands it down low, intercepted by Matt Lever. 34-27, it's a 7-point lead for the Green Wave now. They were down 6 at the end of the first and came storming back, put up 25 in the second quarter. Lever 2 doesn't go. Ismius grabs the board and finds Graham Jr. Drew Donovan back to Graham Jr. Far side for Fanara, who floats it up for Donovan. Catch and shoot, and it's good. I was almost worried that the receiving end of that was going to be Jeremiah Ismius on an alley-oop.
That was just Drew doing what he always does, and that's showing off his athleticism. I've said it the past 2 games. Drew may be the most athletic player in the South Shore League. It just shows off how high he can jump and how fast he is.
Likes to do that same thing on the gridiron in the fall season as well. He goes across to Antoine Graham Jr., gets it back, bounces in for Ismius. Ismius is called for the travel. Offensive foul, an illegal screen set by Downey Lamprey. His second. Deshaun Leggett's going to come back in, giving Mike Van Luling the breather. Graham Jr. no looks to Leggett, now to Fanara, back to Leggett. Donovan down low, back to Graham. He steps aside, finds a lane, off the glass, doesn't go, but he is fouled and will be at the line for 2. Matt Lever calls for the foul.
I said it earlier in the game, but his ability to go to the rim that strong just shows off how talented he is, because it just shows how he can score at all 3 levels and use all of his shooting ability to his advantage and get to the rim and draw a foul.
Lucas Summers comes in for Tommy Fanar. 4.5 to go in the third. Green Wave averaging 17.1 points in the third. They are averaging 13.9 points against in the third quarter. Danny Lamprey at the top of the key finds Lever in the paint. He goes up, count it, and one for Matt Lever. Donovan called for the contact. Hunter Maxwell is going to come into the game. He hit a big three-point from the corner to kick off that big run in the second.
Unfortunately for the Green Wave, Drew Donovan is now at 3 fouls, meaning we probably won't see him for the remainder of the third quarter and part of the beginning of the second quarter would be my best guess.
Coach Serino is engaged in quite the chess match with his colleague across the court, John Willis, the coach of the Norwell Clippers. Norwell won the first quarter. They were up 13-7. And then the Green Wave seemingly found that combination of players that was going to make it happen. Maxwell Graham Jr., Ismius, Lucas Summers had a big couple of shots, as did Deshaun Leggett. Connor O'Hare with it, gives to Ryan Lucarelli just inside half court. He gets the screen from Lever, kicks out to Mullen. Now it is O'Hare slipping on his way in, and a foul called on Hunter Maxwell. 6-point lead, 38-32 for the Green Wave. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Danny Lamprey's jumper doesn't go. He stood there and watched it without following it.
And with his size, following his shot can only do good things for him. It can only be beneficial, really. He has the ability to just reach over the Abington player and grab another rebound, get a second chance.
High off glass goes Lucarelli. He's having quite the game for the Clippers. Fanara's going to come back in. See him wearing that shoulder brace from the football injury. Leggett goes up to get the pass, bounces to Graham Jr. in for Ismius at the free throw line. Leggett puts it up, doesn't go. Ismius with the offensive board, and that is good.
If Ismius is able to finish those consistently and as consistently as he has tonight, that's going to be big for the Green Wave going forward this season and can only do great things for them, especially when they play tougher competition with bigger size, with the type of size that Norwell has.
Downey Lamprey doesn't go. Maxwell comes away with the loose ball. Finds Graham, another deep three for Graham. This one doesn't go. Offensive board, Ismius fighting for it.
I'm sure Coach Chirino would take that over using a timeout.
Absolutely. 17 seconds for the Green Wave to shoot. 2:07 in the third quarter. They lead it by 6, 40-34. Graham Jr. floats it in for Ismius. Fanara back to Graham Jr. Maxwell pump fakes, working baseline. Finds Graham. Graham looking for Fanara, who has to recover it off the tip pass. Fanara deep three from the top of the key, and a foul on the rebound attempt called on Ismius. .150 to go in the third. A little bit of a slow start for both of these teams to the second half, I should say. Danny Lamprey gets his own rebound. Now Lever gets a third chance and puts it in. Fanara gets it back from Ismius, now rotates back to the top of the key, over to Graham Jr. Leggett finds some space, bounces to Ismius, and he lays it up and in. Connor P is getting ready to come back in for the Green Wave.
When defending the zone, it's always important to establish the free throw line, and that's what Deshaun Leggett did on that possession. He did it very well. He found the open Ismius at the basket, and it was an easy two for the Green Wave.
Downey Lamprey spins, shoots, and it's good. 45 seconds to go in the third. The lead is at 4, 42-38. Hunter Maxwell works his way inside the paint, kicks to the far side for Fanara. He gets back to the top of the key for Graham Jr. Maxwell takes the three, doesn't go. And a foul called. A push is called on Downey Lamprey. P's in for Maxwell. 31.8 to go, and Norwell tipping this one out of play. Make it 31 seconds even. An exact 1 second between shot clock and game clock. Pease gives to Leggett. Leggett bounces for Ismius. Fanara picks up the loose ball in the far side corner. He's got eyes on Antoine Graham Jr. and finds him. Norwell begging for a travel. It rolls out of play, deflected out by Graham Jr. And Norwell takes over with a couple ticks under 15 seconds to go. Lucas Summers and Jack Robbins come in. Ismius and Fanara get the breather.
This defensive possession is going to be huge for the Green Wave to keep it at a 2-possession game, keep it at a 4-point lead for them, because if they give up any points, it will be a 1-possession game going into the fourth quarter.
Lucarelli gives out to Jackson Adams. 2 on the clock. Downey Lamprey takes the three. It rims out. The third quarter has come to an end, 42-38. A little bit cold for both teams coming out of the locker room at the half. 7 points put up there in that quarter by the Green Wave. 11 put up by the Clippers in that third. Thank you for tuning in to this game and every game. You probably watched 3 of them so far today on youtube.com/abingtoncam.tv. youtube.com/abingtoncam02351/live. If you miss one of our live broadcasts at that link, you can go to abingtoncam.tv for on-demand video, live streams of our cable access channels, bulletin board information, and more at the official online home of Abington Community Access and Media, abingtoncam.tv. Give us a follow across social media as well, Abington Cam 02351. 8 minutes on the clock. A big South Shore League battle shaping up. The 4-4 Norwell Clippers, the 5-3 Abington Green Wave. With ESPN 8, the Ocho in the house.
A Friday night matinee matchup. They brought out ESPN, so the pressure's on for us and for the Green Wave.
It's been interesting placement of setup there along the baseline in the student section. You figure that wouldn't be great for the audio quality.
And the angles. It can't be a great angle from the baseline. You get a better angle from the sideline up in the stands like we are.
Ismius swinging his arms around trying to grab the rebound. Was not successful with that effort. 30 seconds into quarter number 4. Lever takes the 2 and hits it from deep 2 range. Fanara with it now for Abington. Bounces over to Drew Donovan. He finds Graham Jr. Now Van Luling out to Donovan. Far side Fanara slows up, finds Donovan at the top of the key. Donovan takes the three. No good. Adams with the board for Norwell. Rather, that's O'Hare. O'Hare working against Graham Jr. Contact on the drive to the bucket. Graham called for the hit.
Connor O'Hare will go to the line, shooting 2 for the Clippers.
Connor O'Hare at the line for 2 shots. Hits his first to make it a 1-point ball game with 6:51 to go in the fourth. O'Hare looking for the tie. And gets it. 42 all. Donovan, a heater to the corner for Fanara, who rotates around, gives to Graham now near side. Graham takes the 2, and it's good.
I believe those are his first points of the second half. Oh wait, he had free throws in the third quarter, so I believe 4 points in the second half for him. Hopefully for the Green Wave, he can heat up going forward in this fourth quarter.
This might be his first points inside the arc that were not at the free throw line. Ismius grabs the loose ball, finds Graham. Graham to Donovan on the near side wing. No look over to Fanara. Green Wave have had a number of no-look passes tonight. Fanara hits the corner 3. That extends the Green Wave lead back to 5, 47-42 with 6 minutes to go. Donovan Graham Jr. now back just inside half court. In for Ismius. Out to Fanara. Graham Jr. pump fakes and takes the contact from Lucarelli.
Call foul on 3, Ryan Lucarelli.
Now Coach Serino trying to say that Graham may have been in the act of shooting.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he was shooting it from outside that far from the basket.
5:23 to go. Van Luling spin around jumper from the free throw line doesn't go. Ismius fighting for the rebound, eventually taken by Downey Lamprey. Rather, that was Matt Lever, the junior kill captain. Graham comes up with a steal, goes behind the back, puts it off the glass and in. What a sequence for Antoine Graham Jr. Timeout on the floor, called by Abington. The Green Wave with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, lead it by 5, 49-44. James, take us through that last sequence, the steal, the behind the back, and the shot from Antoine Graham Jr.
That's pretty much been the name of the game so far. It's pretty much been Antoine Graham kind of getting whatever he wants on the offensive end of the floor. He's been able to get to the hoop with ease. He's been able to shoot it from outside very consistently, and he's pretty much done that for the Green Wave all season. He's been one of their focal points of their offense, as well as creating opportunities for his teammates. And one of his hidden talents, I don't know if it's much of a hidden talent after tonight, but his ability to play make and distribute, find open looks for his teammates.
Five minutes even on the clock. Antoine Graham Jr. doing everything for the Green Wave tonight.
I think for the Green Wave, if they can rally together a few good possessions, get this lead maybe to 8 with around 3:30 left, they'd feel a lot more comfortable than having it around a 4 or 5 point game.
Graham Jr. averaging 12.4 points per game. He's already north of that tonight. Tipped out by Drew Donovan. Donovan guarding Lucarelli. Lucarelli to Lever, his three. Rims out. O'Hare grabs the rebound and he takes the hold from, I think that was Leggett. Now they're going to call Ismias. Third foul on Ismias.
That's a big foul for Norwell, as now the Green Wave have reached 6 team fouls, so Norwell will be at the line for the rest of the game.
Lucarelli working against Donovan. Donovan looking for an opportunity to tip it away. Bounced in, Leggett called for the contact on Downey Lamprey. Speaking of the free throw line, Downey Lamprey finds himself there for a 1-and-1 bonus shooting situation. Clippers trailing by 5, 49-44 with 4:26 to go in the fourth quarter. And Downey Lamprey good on his first attempt to earn the second. One for two. Ismias grabbing the rebound. Donovan slows up, finds Fanar on the no-look. Bounced out to Donovan. There's a lot of contact. In fact, enough to shake the mask off of Fanara's face. He's now calling for it in the far side corner. Graham with it at the three-quarter mark. Bounces in for Leggett. Fanara takes the three and hits it.
That was huge for the Green Wave. Get their lead up to 7, get a little more comfortable, but obviously not too comfortable, as anything can happen. Basketball's a game of runs.
Lever, rather Downey Lamprey couldn't handle the pass. It rolls out of play. The Green Wave take over possession, and the Clippers call a timeout with 3:48 to go in the fourth quarter. Abington leading at 52-45. Game of runs, as you mentioned, James. Norwell had all the momentum at the end of the first, keeping the Green Wave to just 7 points, shutting down most of it. The Green Wave defense was very strong in that first quarter, holding the Clippers in, as you call them, the Twin Towers, the big trees, the sequoias in the paint, to only a couple of points each. Then it was, that second quarter was everything for Abington. 25 points to go into the half with a big lead over the Clippers. It's 35-27, I believe.
In touching on the defense, that's been something the Green Wave have really focused on all season. That's been something they've really strived for, to have great defense, be one of the most well-conditioned teams and best defensive teams in the South Shore League, and it certainly looks like that tonight.
They are averaging 9.6 deflections per game, 12 steals. That's the huge number there per game. 3.3 blocks. They have the ball with 3:48 to go in the fourth. Tommy Fanara gets the inbound pass from Drew Donovan. Bounce back to Donovan, who tries to find a lane, look for the underhand windmill pass to Ismias. Donovan down on the floor, and a push is going to be called on Matt Lever. So this is what makes center court such a great viewing angle here at the gym, is we heard that exchange. Graham Jr. pump fakes. Fires it in for Ismias, strong to the bucket. Too strong, Lever with the rebound there. Coach John Willis started laughing at the foul call, thinking that there was no foul call. The ref starts yelling at him that he could not possibly see that angle from his position on the floor. The ref was right on top of it. O'Hare kicks out to Lucarelli. His three is good.
Lucarelli has played very well so far tonight. He's been very impressive. Only a sophomore, so the future is bright for Lucarelli and the Norwell Clippers heading forward in his high school career.
4-point lead for the Green Wave as Graham Jr. slows up. Fanara takes the three. Back rims out. Lucarelli with the rebound there. 2:45 to go in the fourth. Lucarelli takes the jumper from the free throw line. That comes up short. Leggett lost his mask. Fanara picks it up for him.
That's the teamwork that the Green Wave have showed all night.
I would think that if he did not... Oh, how about this from Antoine Graham Jr.? Count it. And one.
Graham has been practically unguardable from all parts of the floor tonight. He's been able to score at the rim. He's been able to shoot threes. He even showed off his mid-range game. He's just been doing it all for the Green Wave offensively.
Showed off his half-court game, too, just before the half. And makes it the three-point play the old-fashioned way, extending the Green Wave lead to 7:55 to 48 with 2:15 to go in the fourth. Tipped away, Lucarelli gains it back. Connor O'Hare just inside half-court working against Fanara. Graham Jr. trying to clog the passing lane. Levered down low, gets blocked by Ismius. And Donovan picks up the loose ball. That's the spot on the floor that Graham Jr. is, that he hit that deep three. And a kickball called. What are they calling kickball on? Graham Jr. had it wrapped up. Coach Serino wants an explanation. And it seems as though he might get one from the ref. So the ref says it was a kickball. Graham Jr. had it wrapped up. That's in his arms. That's
got to be one of the few, I don't think, maybe the only time I've ever seen an offensive player with the ball be called for a kickball violation.
Donovan called for a hold meanwhile.
I never like to, I wouldn't say shame the officials, but it's been going both ways. They've had some questionable calls, and it seems...
They've been consistent both ways, but it's been consistently questionable.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, as long as the consistency's there, there's not much to complain about.
1-on-1 situation, both teams in the bonus. Lucarelli hits his first to earn the second. That makes it a two-possession game, 55 to 49. Maxwell is going to come back in. He will replace Drew Donovan, who has 4 fouls against him.
I'd imagine it's only going to be a short break for Drew. Maybe at the 1 minute mark, 50-second mark, he'll go back to check back in.
No good on his second attempt. That keeps it a 6-point ball game. Leggett with the rebound. Leggett working against Downey Lamprey. Lamprey taps it away, and a lot of contact. Coach Serino looking for the call, and deservedly so. Graham Jr. now tipping it. Scrum on the floor, a lot of contact. Timeout called by the Green Wave. 1:18 to go in the fourth, and the refs letting everything go in terms of physicality. Not much in terms of some of the other questionable calls they've had.
It was interesting to see they didn't call a jump ball or a foul on anybody. They just let them play it out. Luckily for the Green Wave, they got the timeout. The Green Wave still have 3 timeouts remaining with 1:18 left in the game. So given any unforeseen circumstances with an inbound trouble, they'd be able to use one of those timeouts. Hopefully for the Green Wave, they can continue to play well defensively and finish this game off.
Well, got to commend our friend and colleague over at ESPN 8, The Ocho. Specifically Ryan Tobin, who has carried their broadcast. He's been deserted by his broadcast partner for the entirety of the second half. And as I mention it, as I say it, color commentator Eddie Riley steps back behind the table, puts the headset back on,
I'd imagine it's going to be short-lived because I know
He's already standing up with the headset off again.
I know him. He loves to use his voice in the student section, so I'd imagine he'll be back to leading the student section very shortly.
Hunter Maxwell to inbound. 9 to shoot for the Green Wave, 1:18 to go in the fourth. Far side for Ismius. Fanara pump fakes, works his way into the paint. Finger roll, up and in. Timeout called by Norwell now, 1:09 to go, and it's an 8-point lead for the Green Wave.
That was huge for the Green Wave, getting their lead up to 8 points. 8 points is a tough margin for Norwell to come back with a little over a minute remaining. They'll need a few quick stops, which I'd assume the Green Wave will try and use all 30 seconds of their shot clock, as well as some quick threes and some quick possessions. So it's going to be tough for Norwell, but anything can happen in the game of basketball.
Well, big couple of games in the South Shore League next week, James, for the Green Wave boys basketball team here at the gym. The Crusaders of Carver on Tuesday, the Vikings of neighboring East Bridgewater on Friday evening, 6:30 tip-offs in both of those.
The Green Wave faced East Bridgewater the first game of the season on December 17th. They won 54-39. It was a rocky start to the game for the Green Wave. Maybe a bit of first game jitters, first game rust, but they were able to pull out with a 15-point victory. So it should be a good one next Friday night.
Of course, handily defeating the Mashpee Falcons here on Tuesday night to kick off their run of South Shore League opponents. Maxwell comes back in, 1:01 to go.
I'd imagine Maxwell checked in for Donovan for his ability to shoot free throws and to shoot the ball and just give the Green Wave a little extra scoring on this offensive possession.
Leggett with it. The Clippers employ the full court press. Graham Jr. with the athletic reach to keep the ball in Green Wave possession. Now Fanara, they're going to waste out much of the next 20 seconds. Downey Lamprey called for the holds on Fanara. That's exactly who you want to see at the free throw line if you're Abington, either him or Graham Jr.
This has been one of the big points tonight. The Green Wave have shot very well from the free throw line, only shooting 58% from the free throw line this season. They have struggled at times, but they've been consistent and they've shot well from the free throw line, and it's been very huge for them in this 8-point game.
Fanara good on his first attempt. That might just be enough to ice it. Green Wave up 9 and Fanara a chance to make it 10. And a 4-possession game. He does not. Matt Lever with the rebound. Still a 3-possession game technically. It's a 9-point lead for the Green Wave, 58-49. Norwell's going to move. Leggett tipping the ball. O'Hare gets it back. Layup. Green Wave willingly gave that out to Lucarelli. They'd rather the 2 than the 3. It is a 7-point lead now for the Green Wave, which means it is still a 3-possession ball game.
That was a tough possession for Norwell. Obviously, at this stage in the game, down 9, you always look for a quick bucket, quick opportunity. But unfortunately for them, they took 20 seconds or so off the shot clock, took some time off the game clock, and 29 seconds remaining. The Green Wave lead by 7.
There is about 0.4 of a second difference between shot clock and game clock. 7-point lead for the Green Wave, 58-51. Dr. James Madden, Mad Dog Matt Nelson. Bringing you all the action high above the hardwood from the gym here at Abington High School. ESPN in attendance. They just paused their broadcast to take a picture.
It looks like one of the cheerleaders asked for a photo. They were nice enough to put their broadcast to halt. Give her the photo.
Please walk up pedestrians and drive slowly as you leave the school campus. Thank you.
The Green Wave with the ball. Drew Donovan will inbound. It's Donovan, Fanara, Leggett, Maxwell, and Graham Jr. The Hail Mary pass finds Leggett. Complete. Now Graham Jr. gets the contact, and that will turn off the shot clock. The foul called on Connor O'Hare.
One player on Norwell I've been impressed with so far is sophomore Ryan Lucarelli. He'll be a problem going forward for the South Shore League because he's only going to get better. He's only a sophomore. He's a guard. He's very crafty,
and
very
already
shifty.
A captain.
Exactly. Very shifty, very crafty, very skilled. And it's great for the Clippers to have such a great young player.
Graham Jr. hits his first to earn the second. A little jig at the charity stripe as that one went in. Ismius replaces Maxwell. That makes it an 8-point ball game, 25.5 seconds to go. Graham Jr. looking to make it a 4-possession game and officially ice it. He does. Oh, my math was off. It's still a 9-point game. Still a 3-possession game. Only 20 seconds to go. Donovan tried to deflect it. It went out of play. The Clippers will retain possession with 21 seconds to go. Now Donovan got tripped up behind the play. The ref's letting everything go. And now a foul called on O'Hare. That one was on purpose. James, the Stripes have had an interesting night here.
They've been getting an earful from both coaches. It's been interesting. It's been funny to watch Norwell coach John Willis. He's been going at it with the officials for what seems like the entire game. Him and the officials don't seem to have been getting along all that well tonight. And
well, the same could be said for Coach Sereno as well for the Green Wave. Especially on that kickball call that was called when Antoine Graham Jr. had the ball wrapped up in his arms. Double bonus. Graham Jr. makes it a 4-possession ball game now, 61-51, make it 62. Graham Jr. very easily our player of the game.
Yeah, I don't believe there's much question about it. He's done everything for the Green Wave offensively. He's played great defense for them, causing deflections, getting steals, causing turnovers, and without a doubt, one of the more impressive outings from any player on the Green Wave I've seen so far this season.
Well, Antoine Graham Jr. hit it from everywhere on the floor. In the paint, out of the paint for 2, beyond the arc for 3, from half court at the end of the first half. The buzzer sounds, the Green Wave win it with a differential of 9 points, 62-53. A very, very impressive 3 quarters of basketball from the Green Wave. The Clippers had a very impressive first quarter, and then they kind of tailed off.
The first quarter was tough for the Green Wave. They didn't really open up on the right foot as they would have hoped. They were outscored 13-7, all 7 of those points coming within the last 2.5 minutes. But once they found the rhythm in the second quarter, it was smooth sailing for them. They were the better team tonight, and it really showed that they were the better team in general. They maintained their first place lead in the South Shore League Sullivan Division, moving to 4-1 in the South Shore League, and 5-3 overall.
6-3 overall.
6-3 overall.
The Clippers, meanwhile, fall to sub 500, 4-5 on the year from the team from Norwell High School. The final score from the gym tonight, 62-53. The Green Wave defeating the Norwell Clippers behind a big performance from Antoine Graham Jr. I want to thank you for watching this production of Abington Community Access and Media. I want to thank my broadcast partner, Dr. James Madden, for joining me once again, and for everyone here at Abington Community Access and Media. I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. We will see you next game.